Preeti, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please take.
Shashank Munday, sir. You can unmute and switch on your camera.
Bharat sir, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Preeti, please
Yes, ma'am.
do the introduction.
Just a minute. Let Shashank sir come on.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect, sir.
Thank you.
We can start now.
Good afternoon to everyone who are present here today. It gives me immense pleasure to be hosting this career fair take place in our prestigious college, R.K.Talreja. On behalf of our career guidance and placement cell, I welcome Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, other faculty members, our guests for the session, and all the participants. Career Guidance and Placement Cell is organizing 3 days career fair, and we are on second day, third session. The webinar which we are going to start now is how to pursue CPA, CMA, CA as a career. CPA is Certified Public Accountant is the title of qualified accountants in numerous countries in the English speaking world. CMA is professional certification in management accounting and financial management field. Also, the person who qualifies this field, they have the knowledge in the areas of financial planning, analysis, etc. Moving forward, let me just introduce our guest for the session. Mr. Shashank Munday sir is from the field of CGA, CMA, CA. Sir has qualified BCom, LLB, CPA USA, DIP IFR, ACCA, FCA, Chartered Accountant, and Insolvency Professional. Sir has experience of 40 years in public accounting practice, handling audit, taxation, and consultancy assignments for various clients in several industries ranging from pharmaceutical, construction, banking, infrastructure, automobile accessories, engineer, chemicals, and dye stuff, SMCG, etc. Sir is co-founder Mundle Venkatraman and the Chartered Accountancy firm 1987 and is currently its managing partner. Also, Director of Concord Academics Private Limited, a leading provider of CPA, CMA, CIA, and EA courses in India. A faculty GAAP for the Concord Team CPA. All the participants are hereby requested to stay connected till the end of this session as you will get the feedback link. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the kind introduction. My respects to the senior professors in this group, the principal, the vice principal, and other dignitaries. I'm Shashank Munday, as was introduced earlier. I'm a chartered accountant and also a director of Concord Academics, which is actually a provider for these courses that I'm going to talk about today. Before I actually jump into the presentation, I have a few points to share with you. So one is, friends, you all are at the fringe, or at the, let's say, the beginning of your careers. You're looking at different options, different opportunities. And friends, when we started out maybe 30, 40 years ago or whatever, our opportunities were very, very limited. Okay. As compared to that, today there is a huge scope out there, and you need to identify, you need to be aware of what different options one has. You should be as aware as possible. There's a lot of information available on the internet also, and choosing the right track will really help you go forward by leaps and bounds. Okay, and frankly, the sky is the limit for you all as you go forward. Education, as you know, essentially is both formal as well as informal. Every day, in fact, we are learning new things. informally. I mean, this uh, webinar itself is an example of learning how to do things in a new way. Who would have thought about a year ago, that webinars would become so common, a platform for conducting these kind of programs earlier. And frankly, I come from an environment where I would be very happy to actually be meeting you and talking to you in person. But well, the circumstances are such that that really doesn't make it possible. But let's hope that we can do the best with this platform. Another thing is you you're pursuing your graduation just now. You will probably go on to do your post graduation also. But even where formal education is concerned, frankly, it never ends. I mean, you can do various courses, various programs from time to time. I can share with you my own example. I did my CPA 20 years after I had completed my CA. I did the IFRS about 10 years after I completed the CPA. And so it just goes on. I mean, there is really nothing to stop you from acquiring new knowledge and new qualifications. Also, now qualifications per se are just stepping stones. You become a CA or you become a CPA, you become uh, a BCom. It could be anything. Okay, it's what that qualification helps you get your first job, your first opportunity. Thereafter, having got into a particular environment, then it's completely up to you to perform, and you can reach anywhere. You can reach absolutely the top of any organization, having a good qualification, or maybe in a situation not having that qualification also. But it all depends on you. A qualification, if I were to use the example of a ladder, okay, having 20 steps, a qualification will help you place yourself on a ladder at a higher step, a, a bigger qualification. A higher qualification might help you start at a higher level. And that's why these different options which are available to you gain so much importance. There is immense competition once you finish your formal education and you are now looking out for opportunities in the commercial world. You will see that you face immense competition. Therefore, you need to have an edge, something extra, okay, thoda hatke, I will say, okay, which will attract a potential employer and say that this person has the enterprise, is enthusiastic about learning new things, okay, and has a particular qualification in addition to what the normal or regular qualifications are. So I'm going to talk to you about two or three such qualifications today. So I just switch to the presentation. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first qualification that I was referring to is the Certified Management Accountant, or the CMA. This is a US certification course. And as I said, this is something extra that will give you the edge where getting a good job is concerned. This is what is going to help you get yourself into a work environment which will be much better than what you would otherwise get. Also, with this better class of work environment, you would obviously be uh, uh, getting a higher compensation. So this is what we want to do. At the end of the day, we want to better our life, okay, our family, so that we enjoy all the comforts in life and live a good, successful life. Okay, so coming to CMA now, management accounting as a profession. So this actually corresponds to the cost accountancy in India. I'm not sure whether you are aware of cost accounting. Most of you would probably be, but that's a course just like the chartered accountancy course, uh, which also takes about a minimum of 3 years for you to complete in India, has multiple exams. In the US, this certification has just one exam and two papers. You will see that as we go forward. The program is constantly evolving, the CMA program. Okay, it constantly evolves to take into consideration what are the needs of business today. So as you go forward, you will see that the program also keeps track of what is required by business and keeps updating itself. Now, what does the CMA help you with? It sharpens your skills in financial planning, financial analysis, financial control, okay, and also in supporting decision making. So you will gain a lot of insight into how finance really works, how management accounting really works, and helps the senior management in arriving at appropriate decisions. So what is the CMA? Well, it's an advanced professional certification. It's the highest professional certification where management accounting is concerned in the US. Who can take the CMA exam? An undergraduate, that is a person who is pursuing graduation, somebody who is pursuing BCom or BMS or equivalent courses in any stream, okay, is eligible to take the appear and pass the CFA exam. Uh, After you pass the CMA exam, you need to get 2 years of work experience. Okay, this work experience can be taken or obtained within 7 years of passing the CMA exam. Anytime within 7 years of passing the exam, and once you complete your work experience, you will be given the CMA certificate. The exams are online and are available to you 6 months in the year. The windows to take the exams are in the right column: May, June, September, October, and January, February. These are the 6 months in which the exams can be taken. Uh, you need to register, of course, before you take the exam. Where are these conducted? The CMA exams are conducted across all major cities in India. Mumbai, of course, is a center. These these exams are conducted in what are called prometric centers. Prometric centers are locations where you need to go and take the exam online on their computers. You can't take the exam at home. You'll have to go to this center to take the exam. Yes, Deepak, what I would suggest is please note down your questions. We'll have a question answer session at the end of this. I'm not going to be talking too long. I will have enough time left over for question answers. Okay, so as I said, only two papers, one exam, and you're done. Okay, the papers are financial planning, performance, and controls, and this paper two is financial decision making. Okay, so that's all. Only two papers, 100 marks each, and you're done. What you need to, uh, uh, what material would you need to study for the exam? You can use question bank software, textbooks, of course. Then there are, as part of the exam, you are required to write essays. So you will have practice essays. You will have online classes available to you. Audio software, which is an audio visual lecture, and you practice exams. Uh, the next program that I would like to introduce to you is the Certified Public Accountant, or the CPA. The CPA is the equivalent, American equivalent of the Indian CA qualification. An Indian CA is can become an auditor in India. Likewise, an American CPA can become an auditor in the US. It is the highest accounting qualification in the US. Just like the Indian CA is in India, this is in the US. The US CPA enjoys truly international recognition. What I mean by this is that getting jobs in the US, of course, is eminently possible. It's possible, but not only in the US, but across the world. In India, outside India, that is apart from the US, all over the world, I mean, potential employers recognize the CPA USA qualification and would definitely give preference to candidates who have this qualification. For the CPA US also, there is only one exam, 4 papers, and that's it. The exam is administered or conducted by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, which is the AICPA. Now, the CPA qualification enjoys immense demand all over the world. Okay, simple. So you will have US companies or American companies across the world. They definitely prefer a US CPA qualification. Okay. Apart from that is American companies or multinational corporations operating in India. I mean, what I mean to say is within India also there are a large number of American corporations. They also prefer to engage or to employ US CPAs. Apart from these companies, there are many companies, many Indian companies now which are raising capital in the US. They're issuing shares or they're borrowing monies from the US market. All these companies need to file reports with certain US authorities. They also need to prepare their accounts to be in conformity with the US GAAP. The US GAAP is the generally accepted accounting principles as followed in the US. So this is one of the subjects that you learn when you take the CPA program. So when you have this knowledge, Indian companies who are raising capital in the US would also require your services. Apart from these companies, there are again a very large number of KPOs, that is knowledge process outsourcing companies, as well as business process outsourcing companies, BPOs, as we know them. You may or may not be aware that there are tens of thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands of US income tax returns which are actually prepared in India. That is, American citizens' returns are prepared by by Indians sitting in India. Okay, so all these companies who provide this service need the services of a qualified CPA. If you are a CPA, you would automatically get into a supervisory cadre in any of these companies, and there is a huge demand for this now. Who can appear for the CPA exam? Chartered accountants, cost accountants, that is ICWAs, company secretaries, qualified company secretaries or LLPs, then candidates who have completed their inter-CA, PE2 or IPCC, completed the intermediate exam of the ICWA exam program, MBAs, and other postgraduates with an accounting background. Could be any kind of postgraduates, but they should have had accounting as part of their curriculum. Okay, so so to give you an example, BMS, for instance, is or MMS is one example where you would have a post graduation in some other area, but you would have accounting as your background. And even commerce graduates, okay, BComs, who have qualified with a first class and are from NAC A accredited universities. Okay, so NAC A accreditation is given by the government to universities. So if you are from such a university and you have qualified with a first class, that is above 60%, you would be eligible to take the CPA exam. Now, CPA exams also are administered in India. You can take the exam in India at prometric centers. Just like the CMA, the CPA exams are also offered or have to be taken only at the prometric centers. So just for your information, till before the COVID, CPA exams were not being offered in India. One had to travel abroad, either to the Middle East, that is to Dubai, Sharjah, or Japan, Korea, or to the US to take the exam. But post the COVID, that is from the last year, let's say from June or July onwards, the AICPA has permitted the CPA exam to be offered in India also. So this is a big benefit. One doesn't need to travel abroad now to take the exam. The CPA exam, I said, you have just one exam, 4 papers. Okay, and the 4 papers are financial accounting and reporting, which is nothing else but US GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles as followed in the US. Then you have regulation, which is a combination of commercial law and the US income tax. So commercial law is something like your Contract Act, Partnership Act, and all that. Many of these acts we actually study in the course of our graduation also, as well as our post graduation. So the same acts are also tested for the CPA. Then you have auditing and attestation, uh, and business environment and concepts, or BEC for short. So BEC again is a combination of economics, cost accounting, that is management accounting, and a little bit of information technology, that is IT. Very basics, of course, but that's what the subject comprises of. For learning purposes, we conduct virtual classes for the CPA. We also conduct virtual classes for the CMA actually. For CPA, classes are on 3 days in a week, early morning, 6 to 8 a.m. And only one subject is taken at a time for for that session. We teach as well as we do some question answers also during that. The whole program will require about 8 months to complete. The training will take about 8 months to complete. Like the CMA, you would need different components or different types of learning material to make sure that you are well prepared for the exam. Material will comprise of textbooks, question bank software, audio software, where you have audio lectures actually, which you can listen to. You'll have practice exams, flashcards, which are condensed versions of the textbook. Then you have simulations. Simulations are like small case studies that you get. You have simulations in the exam also. So there are practice simulations in the study material. Then you have online classes. Online is an audio visual lecture which is recorded, which you can access anytime. And then you have live virtual classes. Uh, Third program that I would like to refer to is our chartered accountancy course, which is the highest qualification accounting qualification in India. Uh, Most of you must be aware of the CA and the process that you need to complete to become a qualified chartered accountant. Again, you might be aware that chartered accountancy would be a career option if you're interested in finance, accounting, tax, or even management consultancy. Today, the scope for a chartered accountant is very wide. Okay, so uh, finance is something which is like the lifeblood of an organization. When I say lifeblood, means in a human blood in a human body, blood goes across everywhere, across all the organs. Similarly, finance is the bloodline for a corporation, for a company, or a business entity. You would have access across the organization if you are part of the financial uh, organization. The CA course can be completed in a minimum of 3 years. 3 years because you need to do articleship, as we'll see shortly. You can take the exams during this time, but the articleship period is 3 years. So minimum 3 years is what you will require to complete the CA course. You need to pass 3 different exams, each of which will have multiple papers. So the first is the CPT or the entrance test, the IPCC, which is the intermediate exam, and the CA and the final exam. Once you clear the final exam, you become a qualified chartered accountant. So, anybody interested in pursuing the CA are eligible to appear for the CA CPT, that is the entrance test, after clearing the 12th board exam. Students from other streams can also apply for the CPT. It's not restricted only to commerce students, but science and arts students can also apply for can take the CPT. The only difference is if you are part of the commerce stream, you need to get an aggregate of a minimum of 50% marks in class 12 to be eligible for the CPT. And if it's some other stream, then you need to get a minimum of 55% in the 12th standard without considering maths. And if you want to consider maths, then you need to have a minimum of 60% score to become eligible to take the CPT exam. So after the IPCC has, after clearing the CPT within 9 months, or after a minimum of 9 months, you will be eligible to take the IPCC. The IPCC has 2 groups, and a student, if he has cleared any one group, can commence his practical training. Practical training means the articleship, which he has to do for a period of 3 years under a qualified chartered accountant. It is learn while you work. Okay, so it's on the job learning when you're doing your articleship. After you clear both the groups of the IPCC, you will then be eligible to take the CA final exam. There are 2 groups again there. After you clear both the groups of the final CA, you would become a qualified chartered accountant. I'll just quickly walk you through a little bit of Concord's history also. Concord was set up in 2001. So we've been conducting the CPA, CMA courses for the last 20 years, and we are one of the leading providers of these programs in India. Apart from training, we also do in-house training and seminars for corporates. We also provide the best study material that is available for this, essentially, which is the Climb study. Climb is a US-based publishing company. They have been publishing books for over 40 years. Yes, Divya, I'll come back to you. We'll just quickly go through the next 3 or 4 slides and we are done. So please bear with me till then. Okay. We also have interactive classes. We do virtual classes, and there is online classes, and these are all live and very interactive. All our faculty, without exception, are all qualified chartered accountants and CPAs. So we have people who have actually gone through the process and know exactly what is required, and share their knowledge of having how they've studied, what they've studied to become qualified CPAs. So because of this process, we enjoy a very, very high pass rate. So that's a big plus.
Okay.
There is some kind of logistical.
Can we take few questions?
Yes. We will come back. I'll just wait a couple of slides more. That's all. Okay. Uh, Then we also provide whatever logistical support that might be required to determine your eligibility, etc. So if you have any questions regarding your eligibility or what, please write to us and share our contact details on a slide shortly. So please write to us and we'll be very happy to respond to that. About Gleim. Gleim is our associate in the US. Gleim has been in existence for over 40 years, publishing study material, and we distribute or use their study material while conducting our programs. So this is the contact sheet. I will also email this to the convener so that she can circulate this also. In the meanwhile, if I'll be very happy now to take any questions.
Veronica, madam, you can ask questions or allow students to do that.
Yes, any
Yes,
questions?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. There is a query from a student who wants to ask whether the CA articleship can be considered as CPA or for CMA training program, that is IPCC, and after that articleship 3 years program.
A very, very good question. The CPA articleship will not be considered as work experience for the CMA. For the CPA does not require any work experience per se. For CPA, when eligibility is concerned, if you are a qualified chartered accountant, you automatically become eligible for the CPA exam. For the CMA, you would actually have to
Okay,
work,
sir.
work hands-on in a corporate to get the work experience. Yes. Any other question?
Okay. Yes, sir. One more question is there from Vikas. The student is asking what will be the overall cost for CPA and CMA.
Okay. For the CMA, the cost will be about ₹1,00,000 totally, which includes the examination fees as well as the material cost. Okay, for the exact breakup of this, I would suggest please write to Bhushan. He will reply with all the details that you need. For the CPA, the total cost would be between 2.75 lakhs to 3 lakhs. Okay, which includes about 2 lakhs of examination fees itself, which are payable uh, uh, to the AICPA, essentially some associate of the AICPA. So here also for more details, I would request please write to Bhushan and we will be very happy to respond to that.
Okay, okay, sir. And one more last question. In order to pursue this course, that is CPA and CMA, where should one get registered?
So, so there are two things there are two steps. One is you need to study. The other is you need to register for the exam and take the exam. Okay. Your cost also is going to be split in that order itself. Okay. You don't have to invest all the money at one shot. So first, let's take CMA for instance. You enroll for the class, study, and then you register for the exam and take the exam. Okay. So for enrollment and also for registration, please write to Bhushan. He will reply in a lot of depth, a lot of detail uh, uh, as soon as we hear from the student, from the candidate. Okay. For the CPA also there is training as well as then there will be registering for the exam. The training goes on for about 8 months. The cost of the training, as I mentioned, would be about between 75,000 to a lakh of rupees, uh, depending on what kind of material you actually take. and the exam related costs, which are essentially mainly the examination fees, which are paid to the AICPA, will be approximately 2 lakhs of rupees. That you need to pay just before you take the exam.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Kindly allow us to put forth two more questions before you.
Sure, please.
Student is asking whether CPA is better or CMA, and what is the difference between KPO and BPO? So these are the two questions, sir.
Okay, so CMA and CPA, better or worse, we can't say. They're different programs. Okay, it all depends on what you want personally. Okay, a CMA is, as I said, a management accountant. He would most likely be engaged or appointed by or employed by a company in a middle management level and then go on to become part of the senior management. Okay, a CPA would enable you, or you have the option even to practice as an auditor in the US. The CMA doesn't have that option. The CPA does. A CPA is just like a chartered accountant. Okay, he would probably be the CFO. Okay, and I mean you can't start with a CFO, but you would become a middle management part of the finance department, then go on to become a part of the senior management or senior finance manager, and then gradually become the CFO. So these are two different tracks. You would take, or you can do both, of course, one after the other. Uh, Immense a lot of demand for both these programs. So your interest will determine whether you want to be in the management accounting field or in the public accounting field. Okay, so if you want to do federal income tax, for instance, the US income tax, then you'll have to do the CPA. If you want to be part of an audit, then you'll have to do the US CPA. Okay, and similarly, of course, where financial accounting is concerned, you'll need to be US CPA. But where management accounting is concerned, where reporting to senior management is concerned, preparing your budgets or preparing statements where you will give details of variances between the budget and the actual. I'm just giving you an example. I'm sorry. Then you would more likely be in the management accounting field. I hope I'm making myself clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
Thank you so much. Any other questions from students?
we can now formally
Yes.
thank him. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's go forward to have a vote of thanks to it, sir.
Sure.
Wow.
Over to you, Neelam, ma'am.
Ma'am, should I start?
Yes, Preeti, go ahead.
Wow, the session was amazing and effective. Thank you, sir, for being here and sharing the most with and for a student. You had enlightened us the various career options available in this effort. On behalf of our guests, principal, assistant, ma'am, different department, our technical team, and all the participants who joined in. All the participants, please check the comment section for feedback link, and you will get the feedback. You will get the e-certificate via email. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.